What's up? How do you choose the right weight when you're strength training? There's a couple of things to talk about here. Number one is if you are new, you should be lifting just a little bit heavier than you lifted the last time. So if you don't know where to start, always underestimate. So start off with a weight where you're like, I know I can get this, I know it won't hurt later, I'm pretty confident. And then once you've established that, if you're new to lifting, new to training, haven't trained for a while, you're just going to try to add a little bit each time. So new lifters, your mindset is what's the least amount of weight I can lift today and get a little bit stronger tomorrow. So that's a really good starting point. Once you've been lifting for a little bit, and I'd say you're 3, 4 months in, or you have a relative amount of confidence and you know how your body works, you know where you can push it, you know where you probably shouldn't push it, we're going to go with reps in reserve. So your coach will let you know how many reps in reserve you should have. And if you're at 3 or 4 reps in reserve, that means you get done with your fifth rep if you're supposed to do five, and you're like, I was working, but I probably could have done 3 or 4 more good reps. So that's 3 or 4 reps in reserve. How much are you leaving in the tank? And then once we get to strength training, true strength training is you're really pushing the limit of your body when you're doing that specific movement. So if you're supposed to get 5 reps at 1 to 2 reps in reserve, and you're an experienced lifter and you have been, let's say we're doing squats, and you have been doing squats for the past several months, and we've built up to, okay, now we're going to try hard, 1 rep in reserve. What that means is when you hit your 5th rep, it is really, really hard. And when you rack it, you're like, I might have been able to get a 6th rep and it would have been good, but maybe not. That's 1 rep in reserve. If I walked in with a suitcase full of cash, had 100 grand in it, and I said, hey, I'll give you $100,000 cash right now to hit 7 good, clean reps, you would not be able to get that 7th rep. You wouldn't win the game. You would not get the 100 grand. That's the level of effort we want to get to, but it takes time to get there. So if you're new to lifting with us, haven't trained for a while, that 1 rep in reserve style of effort isn't necessary or good until you've been lifting for 9 to 12 months. You've got a really solid base. You know what movements you can push it. So for me personally, back squat I can push, but there was about a 3 year period where I couldn't really push it there because my limiting factor wasn't my strength, it was my back. But my back is healed, I'm good, I can really push my load there. With a deadlift movement, I don't push my load too much because once I get up above a certain weight, I just historically will get a little tweak in my back, and that's not so good. So when I'm really going to push it in a strength phase instead of doing deadlifts, I adjust my workout so that I can do barbell hip thrust. It works the same muscles, slightly different way. The load is different. Never hurt my back on doing it. So it's a very safe movement for me to really push the load. So in summary, if you're new to lifting, what's the least amount of weight you can lift to be a little bit stronger today than you were last week? Use that mindset until it'll cap out on you eventually, where you're like, okay, now I need to start pushing it a little bit harder. But use that time to learn how to move really well and learn how your body works. And once you're past that stage, you never want to do more than like a 5 to 6% increase in total load. So if you were squatting with 100 pounds last week and you're like, man, I feel like I could do 125 this week, just don't. Just go up to like 105 pounds. So small progressions are a better move. We're in this for the long term, not for how much weight can we lift today. And if you're doing 7 to 10 reps, your last 2 or 3 reps should be a struggle. You should be trying quite hard and take your time to get there. Remember, start mellow, least amount of weight lifted to get stronger. And now we're in that middle phase where it's like, okay, I got to push it. My last couple of reps should be pretty hard, but I got a couple left in the tank. Then once you've been training for a year or so and you're pretty confident of what movements you can really push and you know how to back off if your body's telling you, hey, today's not the day, that's when we get up to that 1 rep in reserve. And if you could do 2 more reps and get 100 grand cash, then you're not truly strength training. Hopefully this helps. If you have questions, give us a shout.